Hi, everyone. My name is Elena Gould, and I'm the Director of Education, Culture, and Language with the Athabasca Tribal Council.
Hi, and my name is Joanne Meredith, and I work for Balsam Communications, and we are here to help the Athabasca Tribal Council with the Cultural Festival.
Cool. I'm so excited to have you guys a part of this and volunteering. I just want to talk a little bit about the Culture Festival and where it came from. So, for years, the Tribal Council did regional gatherings and they would go to communities, and the chiefs really talked about how do we bring our communities together, and said we need to do something in the urban service area. And that, along with our CEO Carla Buffalo's vision, that's where the ATC Cultural Festival really came from. It's also inspired by a festival in Whitehorse called Adaka, and it's an incredible opportunity for us to showcase artists that we have in the region, build upon their skill sets, as well as continue to work on language and cultural revitalization. So thank you so much for your time. You are really contributing to how we envision reconciliation in our region. So as you can see, like, the values of the festival is to really showcase our region and just how incredible our First Nations and our Métis communities are in this region. And this is an opportunity for anybody to come and to see what is available here. It's a great tourism opportunity, as well as it is really that space for arts and for culture and for new artists to grow as artists. And in particular, we've got our youth program, our school program. You're going to see hundreds of youth get to be around this vibrant community, and it is a community in itself. Just because they're coming from different areas of the region, you're going to see so many people come together, and it's so inspiring. And as I said, like, this is the path to reconciliation. By understanding, by taking the time, by asking questions, this is how we come together as Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in Canada.
Yeah, so again, thank you for volunteering. We'll just go over some of the map and some of the things to expect when you arrive at the venue site. So when you arrive, there will be a welcome tent set up that looks very similar to this tent that's set up here. Fuse Social and North Star Wood Buffalo Volunteer Center will have their tent set up as well. That's where the volunteer check-in will be. You will get a t-shirt, you'll get a lanyard identifying you as a volunteer, and then you'll get some contact information for who's your team lead, depending on what your roles and responsibilities are. There will be a site map there where we can kind of go over and make sure that you are aware of where things are that relate specifically to your roles for volunteering. And we'll go over the emergency plan, of course, what to happen. Of course, we don't expect any emergencies, but it's always good to be prepared for them. We've all experienced emergencies here in the Wood Buffalo area over the past few years, so we're all familiar with needing to know what the plans are. So to move on from that, this is the site map. So this is the very broad area site map, just to kind of give you an idea of the scope. If you're familiar with how to get to the Sny Point Park, this is that parking lot that's at the upper top of the parking lot. This is Sarika's on the Sny down here. And then if you were ever going to the boat launch, you would come down this way and come around here to where our stage area is. So to put this in perspective for the venue site, we have VIP parking and elders and artists that are going to be parking up here. We are hoping that all of our volunteers will be coming down to this parking area down here, and we will be emailing out parking passes along with the map and along with some other additional information that will be helpful during the festival. So do expect to see that in your inbox. When you park here, you'll have that parking pass that'll be emailed to you. You can then come to the volunteer check-in, which will be this area right in here. There will be a nice big pillar. There'll be a teepee there. This is also our muster point in case of an emergency. And we have the volunteer center right here. And then from there, you'll be given all your lanyards and your t-shirts and stuff, and then you'll be told where to go to meet either up with your team lead, or your team lead will meet you there, just depending on where people are at during the day. We all have lots of radios, so we'll be able to radio your team lead and make sure that everybody's connected with where they need to be. When you're on break, so this is going to be a fun festival where our volunteers do get to experience the festival and experience different aspects of the culture, and take a break here and there to be participating in the cultural experiences. We do have food and hospitality tent that is back here, so it's the volunteer lounge area. There's some porta potties back there that are just for the volunteers. Also ATC staff and organizers will have access to this area as well, but it's just back here, kind of out of the way. There'll be some snacks, some sandwiches, tea, all will be refreshed throughout the day. So you will be taken care of there. We do have the Imperial main stage here. We have the cultural village is all in orange. In this area, the red here, and we'll be zooming in on this later in the presentation, is where the first aid tent is. And then we have the school program, which is all of these tents in pink, and the different things that are in pink here. And then the workshops are all of these lighter pink tents, and a huge gathering tent here where all of our meals will be served and people will be able to gather, and there's workshops going in there as well. This purple area is the Boucher Kids Corner. And then we have a gift shop in this green area. So that's kind of the broad overview of the festival. Elena, did I miss anything there?
No, I don't think so. Just for those of you that don't know the street, that big street that's right in front of the festival is Clearwater Drive.
Okay, so moving on. So artist assistance. So I'll just say this right away. Everybody, if you see something, do something about it. It's just, if there's a piece of garbage on the ground, let's pick it up. If we see that, there's something that needs attention, let's get somebody who can take care of those pieces. It might not be your direct responsibility, but let's all problem solve while we're there. And then it just makes everything work faster and easier, and makes a real team atmosphere. So artist assistance, you'll be going to the workshop area. The workshop check-in is actually this tent right here. I'm sorry that it's so small. Let's see, does that make it better? So the workshop check-in is right here beside the big gathering tent. That's most likely where you'll be told to go. Your main job is going to be connecting the people attending the workshops with the proper tent. So we do have lots of different tents. People are going to show up. They're not going to be very familiar with the area. You'll be given like a printed out map. So if they're saying that they're in, Beaver Mitts, you'll be able to direct them to which tent the Beaver Mitts workshop is in, with the guidance of the people who are at the workshop check-in counter, registering people as they come in for the workshops that they've paid for and registered for. There will be some help to provide assist the artists with setting up tables and chairs depending on how they want to run their workshop, and putting them away if we don't need them, that sort of thing. So just some light labor on that end. And we really encourage attendees to do, like, you can learn from the artist about what they're doing. It's an opportunity to hear what their stories are and how they got to do what they're doing. So, it's not all rush and bush doing all of the volunteering, but it is an opportunity to learn while we're helping the artists do their thing. Next is the cultural village. So the cultural village, like I said before, is here in the orange. Each one of the First Nations that are a part of the Athabasca Tribal Council have their own teepee. Elena, I'll let you speak to the cultural village a little bit.
Yeah, we're really excited about this year's cultural village. Each nation is bringing some sort of food or preparation or knowledge. For example, we've got ACFN who's going to have language lessons going on as well as cooking at the same time. And Fort McKay is going to be showcasing all of their different videos as well as, I believe they're doing dry meat. So there's a lot of preparation that has to happen and supports to the nation in this area. And so some of that could include chopping firewood. We're going to have a big firewood pile. We're going to be bringing in firewood continually, helping to cut meat or fish, bringing water if needed. There's lots of different things. We are looking at how do we supply or provide ongoing supplies to the nations. And so that might be running to pick up an order that I've made over the phone at Walmart, for example. Not necessarily that, but it could be something like that. It's a very organic space, and the elders really have the give the direction as to what's going to be happening there. And what we found at the last culture festival is they just took over. They took over what the activities were doing, how they switched over what was being prepared, and we just were as reactive as possible so that we could provide that support to the elders, and it created an incredible environment. And so there is going to be some shifts within the cultural village from activity to activity or food. We're going to be having Robert Granjam, and Robert Granjam with the school program is going to be plucking feathers with each class, and then those plucked geese and those plucked ducks are going to be cooked in cultural village. And so as they're being prepared, we're going to have somebody running back and forth bringing meat to the elders. And so I'm just so excited for each of you that have a chance to be in these assistant roles, and we'll be introducing you to your camp lead from each of the nations when you come onto site. As well as you can see, like the team leaders, that's from Balsam and that's from ATC, but each location is also going to have a leader in this village.
For sure. And that being said, don't do something that you're not comfortable with. If you're not comfortable chopping wood, let's make sure that somebody who is comfortable chopping wood is doing that. Safety first. If you're not comfortable cutting meat or fish, I'm sure one of the elders will show you how. If you want to learn that skill, if you're not comfortable with it, you have the right to say that that's maybe not the job for you. So we're very much wanting to work with all of our volunteers and doing things that they're comfortable and they feel safe doing, for sure.
And essentially dress for the weather as well as dress prepared for being around fires, and understanding that maybe you're not wearing your best clothes that day because sparks do happen.
So next here we have elder transportation. Elena, do you want to speak to how we're helping the elders out within this area?
Oh my gosh, this is also one of my favorite things. I wish I could just do this, but I cannot. So I'm pretty sure we've got 10 golf carts for at least Saturday, Sunday, and 6, maybe 4 golf carts for Thursday and Friday. And so there's going to be a lot of discussion that's happening between the welcome tents and the elders tent. And this is where we're dispatching these people movers and the golf carts. And so those of you that are driving the golf carts, you're going to have a radio. We're going to be on a specific channel for elder transportation. If somebody in Cultural Village flags down Jen and says, hey, I've got an elder that needs a ride to the upper parking lot, you're going to get a call saying, hi there, I need a ride for this elder at the ACFN teepee, and you pop on over. Of course, drive very carefully, drive with recognition that you're in a pedestrian area. And so just be safe. The elders are very fragile, so please don't take sharp turns and have them fall out. The whole point is safety and making sure that we are putting our elders first. And the other part that the elders transportation at the end likely will be doing is some of the garbage pickup throughout the day. We're going to start to add a couple of things just so that we are moving any debris or any trash out of the site so that we don't get birds or other critters that join our festival.
So next is guest services. This is, for the most part, is in the welcome areas. So you will be, helping people familiarize themselves with the site map, familiarize themselves with what they're interested in doing. If they're showing up for a workshop, kind of directing them to that workshop check-in tent, directing them to the cultural village, and areas of significance that will identify with everybody at the site. So don't worry, you'll have a bit of a script to go from, not to worry about that. And you'll get the hang of it too. The questions are going to be very similar throughout the entire festival. So I'm sure that, a quick little review of things, and then you'll get the same questions over and over again. We do have the guest services on doing some rotational shifts with controlling the parking lot and controlling that parking lot pass area. So we do have, the chiefs will have badges, the elders will have some badges that will give them, that first day is going to be, making sure that, everybody kind of understands what's going on. And then after that, it'll be very easy to identify who has a pass and who goes into those parking spaces, just to give those people, because they're going to be in and out, or elders have transportation needs. Chiefs will be very busy needing to go to different areas and that sort of thing. So we do have those sorts of places identified. Just to go back to this site map. So again, the parking pass, that area that we'll need to kind of deal with is right here at the top. And then right here at the bottom, we're going to have some controls there. Public parking is going to be in this area over here. So people will be able to come over this way. This area has been cleared and will be perfectly able for people to park there. I know that it's been what this Google Map shows is not what it looks like at the moment.
It was just mowed yesterday. I got all of the pictures.
Awesome. So and we're going to be rotating people through. We know that is a kind of a bit of a tedious job. So nobody's going to be spending, more than an hour or a couple of hours there and rotating through that position. So we do appreciate everybody's time in doing that. Food and hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
So, Elena, do you want to kind of
Sure.
Yeah, you want to speak to the elders eating first bit?
Yeah. So as I said, elders are our priority. They're our jewels. They've got all of that historical knowledge, and we want to make sure that they're comfortable. And so a respectful process that every nation takes is elders eat first. And so we're going to be having our hospitality and food service volunteers bringing prepared meals and plates to the elders tent or to elders in the cultural village, as well as helping with the caterers. And each caterer is looking for supports for handing out the plates and cutlery, as well as the food service. And so we're really, really lucky to have some amazing caterers. They are donating significant amounts to this festival in terms of food, and really, really happy with how this food service is going to be provided, and they're free for the community. And so that's something where we do get very long lineups. And the more that we work together, the faster we can move people through these food service lines and try and provide a really positive experience, not only for you, but also for our community members that are coming and enjoying a meal with us.
Yeah, so the caterers will do a quick and short, way that they want the food handled. Obviously, there's hygiene concerns there, not concerns, but hygiene, safety that we have to go over. So everybody will kind of get that quick, short training with the caterers, and then you'll be helping them plate, or you'll be helping the elders get to their seats. So there's a lot of different things that are going on here at the hospitality food service, but we will have very direct guidelines on site once we see what everybody's skill set is and what everybody wants to do. Some people don't want to be, doing a lot of walking, so maybe they are better at, doing some of the food service stuff. So we will really be working with our volunteers on what they're interested in doing and what their needs are. Next, and lastly, is the setup and takedown. So, and probably one of the biggest pieces to all of this is the setup and takedown. So that's one of my key areas, is setup. So I will be meeting everybody who is doing setup at the welcome tent at the volunteer check-in. And we will be working together with all of the different vendors that are coming on site and really moving tents and TP pieces. So we're going to be helping the people who are setting up the TPs by getting the TP pieces in the right spaces. All the tent parts and pieces, we'll be putting those in the right spaces. And then we will have people who are professionals on site who will either start directing people on how to set them up, or will be doing the setup themselves. So it's really a lot of moving parts. Elena was calling it a symphony the other day, and I'm like, it's more like jazz. Everybody has their own part, they're playing their own tune, but somehow it all works together. So there is a lot of organization and a lot of strategy that goes behind this. But from the outside looking in, it might look like a little bit of jazz. So we're really hoping that everybody's just willing to step up and help out where they can. And, it's going to be moving some tables and chairs, and it might be moving some tent poles, and it might be moving teepee poles or teepee canvases, which might require, a couple of people doing that. So everybody's going to be working together. We are going to have some golf carts on site and some ways of getting things around a little bit easier. But yeah, that's basically it. And then teardown's always easier than setup. So teardown is quick, easy, done. Take it down, get the tents done. We do have teardown people showing up just as the festival is ending, so that will be a little bit of just like putting tables and chairs away, but still being respectful of anybody who's still doing a workshop or anything that's happening. We will be taking a break. Everybody who's doing that will take a break and participate or watch the closing ceremonies. And then once the closing ceremonies are done, we'll be really getting all of those pieces down and cleaning up the site and getting it ready to hand over to the next event. So I don't know if there's anything after us, but you never know.
That's right.
So I'll be the lead on that, and that's just moving all of these tents and teepees and stuff around is going to be that role. So just really easy peasy. In a case of emergency, consult with your team lead. If there's evacuations, communications manager will be the one that notifies everybody about that, and that's me. So I will be the person who's in charge of that after consulting with Elena and with the rest of the ATC group on those pieces. But I'll be the one that's voicing that concern. There are 2 muster points. So those are at both of the entrance and the exit area, the entrance areas that we just talked about, at the top and the bottom of the hill. And that is the emergency, the short version of the emergency plan. We'll have a full ERP at all of the welcome tents and at the key, like the volunteer check-in, the workshop check-in, the elders tent, all of the key areas will have an emergency plan sitting there. At the end of your shift, just make sure that your team lead knows that you're off the site. If you have any information to transfer on to the next person, so if you're doing elder transportation and you've had a route and people are kind of used to that route, we do have some overlapping shifts just for that purpose, where there's a half hour of overlap, just so that those people get that needed information. So if you have an overlapping shift, that's what that's for. You get to keep your t-shirt and your lanyard, and we invite you to continue to stay on site and enjoy the festivities. So we really hope that you enjoy this experience as much as we do. We love hosting it, and we love putting it on, and I think it's going to be a great weekend for everybody. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for volunteering. We can't wait to meet you. And as Joanne said, like, if you are volunteering for 1 or 2 days, come on back for the rest of the festival. Take a workshop, participate, get some food in Cultural Village, and please stay for our night shows as well. On Friday night, we've got Bear Grease the musical, and on Saturday, we've got a great lineup of musicians. And our lead musician for Saturday night is Ernest Muniz. And so if you look him up, he is the king of the North, and he is so much fun. And so thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, be sure to talk to your team lead, and their team lead will get that answer for you. I believe, Joanne, every ATC staff member is going to be wearing teal, and the committee members are going to be wearing a burnt orange, and volunteers are wearing yellow. And so if you are looking for an answer, seek out one of us that's wearing a teal t-shirt. We should be able to get that answer for you if you can't find your team lead.
Yes, for sure. So thank you, everybody.
Have a great night.
We'll see you at the festival.